Aha! What it says here, Comedy Addict sent me a post and said, "Hey, I'd like to see what you do with the Sheikh Uthman Farooq video. Muslims are celebrating victory already." And Lip Ham also did a gloating and bragging rant about it. Yeah, let's go.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
How you doing? Good.
I've seen one of your videos. You might have seen more, but I saw one video. It popped up. It was because you mentioned Christian Prince.
Okay.
And it was where you said you challenged him to a debate. You said you debate anyone. So
anyone.
So we decided. We know Christian Prince is not going to come down there.
Okay.
He's not comfortable revealing his identity.
Why?
But
I mean, you're here. Nobody's.
we're here.
That's a good question for Christian Prince, right? That I mean, you guys are here. Anybody harming you? Anybody attacking you?
I don't think that's the. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't speak.
Is he like on a sex registry somewhere? Like, is there a problem with showing his face? I show my face. I don't have a
I
problem.
know a lot of
You're here.
that show their face, but
Right. So why would he be ashamed of showing his face?
I don't know. I don't know.
First argument Ibn Farooq made. Christian Prince is a coward because he doesn't show his face. And as we all know, critics of Islam face no real danger from Islam. So it must be he's afraid. Who Muslim believes this argument? Christian Prince criticizes and mocks Islam every day. He visits Islamic countries. Who Muslim here agrees with Ibn Farooq that Christian Prince, the number one polemicist against Islam in the world, doesn't face any real danger from Islam? A couple of months ago, a teacher in France was decapitated because he shown a cartoon in his classroom. What about Christian Prince? Can he travel freely in Muslim countries if he shows his face? Or he will be arrested? He's an Arab. How about his family in Saudi? Any danger there? Or no danger whatsoever because Ibn Farooq said so?
Really?
They just don't want to.
Muslim debaters or YouTube guys? I think they all show their face, right? I don't know.
I know quite a handful of people that just like to. This isn't. They're not interested in becoming public figures per se, but they do like to engage the discussion.
All right.
I'm sure in their own.
Good to see you
context-
back.
I'm sure in their own context they're known. How could you not? You know, if you engage people, then you're going to be known, at least in your context. But they don't.
Right, but I think
National attention.
I think every Muslim YouTube da'i shows their face. I don't know if any that don't, right? So I'm just wondering
Back
why.
in the day,
That only demonstrates that Christianity and atheism are not a threat to Muslims. Islam is uniquely violent and preaches the violent subjugation and death of its critics. Muslims following Islamic teachings are against freedom of speech and freedom of conscience, while Allah, the God of Islam, awards criminals and terrorists. I don't get how is this an argument for your side. Now I get it. It's not that Islam is uniquely violent, it's that Christians are cowards and you are heroes. Like we say, boys are heroes, girls are zeros. Now I got it. Okay.
And I've never watched any of your videos, so I don't know you. So I want to get to, if
I
you
am
don't.
a Presbyterian pastor, so I'm a
Okay.
Reformed Christian.
So do you believe Jesus is God, or do you believe Jesus is the Son of God?
I think that's a false antithesis.
Just a question, honestly.
Well, yeah. So the answer is it's a false antithesis.
That's not what you said, but okay.
In a Jewish context, to be the son of means to have the nature of the one that you are the son of. And so in Christianity, the son of God is by nature God.
Okay.
But without division, right? And
Without division. So they're the one.
they're one. They're absolutely
Okay,
one
so-
in their essence.
Okay, so God, Jesus is one.
Right. So they don't have
Okay.
parts, for example, as in Islam, where God has multiple parts.
God doesn't have parts.
attributes. So you don't believe Allah has a face?
Okay, let me explain that
But
to you.
do you?
Can I?
Wait a minute.
You
told
asked
me
a
minute ago-
question. Can I answer?
Yeah, you asked me a question a minute ago. Then you
Okay.
then you faulted me for not just directly answering.
I'm directly answering if you let
Okay.
me speak. Okay,
Face,
okay,
eyes,
look.
hands.
You see this?
Let's just be
You see
clear.
this?
Let's just be clear with the
He's
question.
just clarifying the question.
Let's
Sure.
be clear what the question is, and then I'll let you talk. Face, eyes, hands, shin, foot, or feet. No. Does he have those attributes, those qualities? And I'm not asking you to describe what those qualities are.
Are you done with your question?
My question is, does he have multiple attributes?
You see why you're not letting me answer, right?
He's
Okay,
no.
thank you. So can I
Please
speak? Okay, so as I listen to you, please listen to me, okay? Allah is one, indivisible, okay? Al-Ahad, He is the one that is one without two, okay?
No, actually, Ahad means one of. Wahid, something like that, means one. Muslims took this word from Hebrews. So they included this word in the Quran, Ahad, and they thought it means one, but it actually means one of. But never mind, that's a small thing. Please continue.
He has sifat that are all His.
And sifat.
Can I finish?
Oh,
I'll
sifat,
explain it. No, I don't need you to define it for me. Thank you.
I'm asking you to.
I will.
Okay.
See, when I asked you to let me speak, you interrupted me again. But if you just let me, don't be insulting towards me. Let me speak.
You're being insulting. All I'm asking you to do is.
Am I being insulting or am I trying to answer here?
Well-
When you talk about sifat, they are of Allah's characteristics. They're not divisible. You cannot take the hand away from the face. They are all a part of Allah. Okay?
Part?
Yes. Okay? Sifat are characteristics. You understand? For example, this is a gentleman named David, right? Now, this is your face, this is your hand, this is one. If I cut your hand off, it will not exist anymore, right? Because that is now cut off from your body, right? This is you, understand? Allah has sifat that are not like humans. They're not like us. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. But He has sifat that He told us about in the Quran and upon the lisan of the Prophet. Now let me explain those words.
Yeah, but before you do that, Ibn Farooq said that Allah has characteristics like feet, hands, face, chin, etc., but they are not divisible. Yet, He refers to them with other names. That must imply something. If the hand of Allah is Allah, then He wouldn't have referred to His hand with another name. What is the essence of the hand of Allah that distinguishes it from the chin of Allah? Maybe the shape. That implies Allah is physical and uses the hand for something. The shape of the human hand is formed by evolution for a specific function. If it's not the shape, then it must be the qualities. So, no matter if the parts of Allah are not divisible, Allah has parts with different essence. Allah is not a unified essence. So, which essence is perfect and divine? Essence 1 or essence 2? They are both perfect, but they are both different. You see, in Christianity, all persons of the Trinity share the same essence. Allah is one person but has many essences. Christian theology is more elegant, what I'm trying to say. Then we have other problems. What is probable? Difficulty of the task divided by the means we have to achieve this task, or in a person, in a being, qualities divided by structure. Allah has eternal qualities, yes, yet you say he's got one unified structure, one unified thing. Okay, eternity divided by 1 is eternally improbable, therefore impossible. Okay, so no matter how can I explain that? Okay, the way you describe God, he can do everything at the same time, cannot be undermined by anything, is the extreme end of improbability. Let me give you an analogy to understand what I mean. Let's say Usain Bolt, the runner. We say to Usain Bolt, look, you need to do eternal meters in 0 seconds. At the same time, let me cut you your feet because they undermine you. How probable is Usain Bolt to do that? Eternal miles in 0 seconds. And by the way, your feet are undermining you. Let's cut them. You made God eternally improbable. Therefore impossible. You disproven your God, in other words. Then we have another problem. All these weeks, you made our balls swollen with a contingency argument. You made our balls swollen. They are swollen, my friend. Okay. So, the contingency argument is the hot argument for Muslims these days. Okay. What the contingency argument says? That he could not have been any other way. So, God has body parts, hands, feet, but that could not have been any other way. He needs to have 2 right hands. The description of God is 2 right hands, by the way. So, this could not have been any other way. He needed to have a chin. The contingency argument disproves this description of God. Okay, so, Ibn Farooq, with what you just said, I disproven you 3 times. But be happy, because Litman, this convert in USA, said you won. So, you won then. Imagine how intelligent somebody must be to be a convert. Popo, he's Einstein. Almost.
Sifat that are all his.
And sifat.
Can I finish? I'll explain it. No, I don't need you to define it for me. Thank you.
I'm asking you to.
I will.
Okay.
See, when I asked you to let me speak, you interrupted me again. But if you just let me, don't be insulting towards me. Let me speak.
You're being insulting. All I'm asking you to do is.
Am I being insulting, or am I trying to answer here?
Well,
Wood? Am I trying to answer, or am I being
I
insulting?
think he just wanted a lot of.
Look, if you want my answer, you have to listen to my answer.
Yeah,
To tell you the truth, bro, no, we are not interested in your answer because we know the answer. The idiots who made your religion, they wanted to describe God and they couldn't imagine God like an alien. They imagined him in an anthropomorphic way. He has a face, he has a hand. This is how primitive people imagine God, like a human. So what can you say, please? What can you say that will be of any interest? What can you say, my friend? Oh, it's not that. It's a miracle. A miracle. It's the Quran defines it in the Hadith. What can you say, my friend, that will be of interest? What? Seriously? Like we don't know what happened. It's not the obvious, it's hyper-intelligent reason. But anyway, yes, say your nonsense. You are a comedy for us, Ibn Farooq. You have 0 thing to say of interest.
I'm just explaining what he's saying. A lot of your viewers are going to be familiar with terms that our viewers might not.
I'll explain it if he lets me.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to know. I need you to explain it.
When you speak, I'm going to listen. When I speak, you can listen. And then if you would like to get a clarification after I'm... See, again, look at this, right? He doesn't want me to speak.
We've already agreed.
Let your audience see this.
We've already agreed.
That you won't let me
This man
speak.
won't tell us what's
I will if you listen, okay?
Go ahead.
If you need a clarification afterwards, please wait for me to finish and then ask me to clarify. Is that understandable? Can we have a civil discussion here?
tell us about
There we go
sifat.
again.
You just asked
Okay.
the question. I answered.
Your own buddy is telling you let him answer, bro. Let him
hear
go.
what he says.
Thank you.
I'm anxious.
Thank you. At least you want to hear it. Okay. So when you talk about sifat, they are of Allah's characteristics. They're not divisible. You cannot take the hand away from the face. They are all a part of Allah. Okay?
Part?
Yes. Okay? Sifat are characteristics. You understand? For example, this is a gentleman named David, right? Now, this is your face, this is your hand, this is one. If I cut your hand off, it will not exist anymore, right? Because that is now cut off from your body, right? This is you, understand? Fully without interrupting you? No, I do need to do that because no, we're not because you're already interrupting.
There you go again.
So the sifat of look at this. Your own friend is telling you be quiet, man.
He's
Listen.
begging you to hurry up.
No, he's not. He's telling you to be quiet.
I'm interested in the answer.
Thank you.
And then I want to hear a response.
Okay,
it's cool.
so sifat are not things that make you more than one. This is your misunderstanding. Okay? When Allah is one, He's indivisible, absolutely one. His sifat is His. That does not make Him more than one. This is your misunderstanding. If you had studied Aqidah, and if you like to, we have durus, you can learn them, you would have known that the sifat of Allah are unique to Him and are only His and are part of Him.
Now, let me tell you what actually happened. Because enough is enough. When Islam began, in the first centuries of Islam, you had Aristotelian philosophy. You started good, the golden age of Islam. Then a brilliant person like you and the other little Einstein, a brilliant person like you said, who is Aristotle? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Who is Aristotle? He doesn't know what he's talking about. Let's read the Quran literally. And then you stuck, you idiot. If you read everything literally, like a brick, you will stuck. That is what actually happened. Ibn Hanbal, he stopped the rationalists, the Mutazilites, and made this literalist creed. And now you're stuck. God has face, has hands. Aristotle ended the Islamic golden era. Isn't that what you say? Okay, now is the results. Because Aristotle ended the Islamic golden era.
Most intellectuals submitted to the official Mu'tazila creed. However, a scholar named Ibn Hanbal from Baghdad refused to recognize the rationalist doctrine. He argued that the Quran was eternal and that it was not open for interpretation or innovation. Hence, the scholar and his followers rejected free will, metaphysics, rationalism, and subscribed to the literal interpretation of the Quran. Ibn Hanbal's theological view could not be more different than the Mu'tazilite scholars, who argued that the anthropomorphic verses in the Quran, which mention the hands, eyes, and face of God, indicate that the holy book should not be interpreted literally. Building on that, the Mu'tazilites stressed that the Quran was open to rational interpretation and innovation. In any case, for his defiance, Ibn Hanbal was imprisoned, tortured, and even banished from Baghdad. For over a decade, the Abbasid rulers tried to break the scholar, but in their pursuit, the caliphs had inadvertently made Ibn Hanbal a folk hero. Over time, the Inquisition became unpopular with the people, and in some cases, riots erupted in the streets of Baghdad in support of Ibn Hanbal. Under these circumstances, in 847, al-Mutawakkil ascended to the throne as the 10th Abbasid ruler. At the age of 26, he reigned over the largest empire in the world. Yet his authority was in question and he needed to swiftly restore his legitimacy. Thereupon, al-Mutawakkil enforced a populist decision. The Caliph ended the Inquisition and effectively endorsed the literal creed of Ibn Hanbal. In the end, the defiant scholar had outlived 3 Caliphs.
Okay, guys, to make a long story short, at some point in Islamic history, some ISIS types decided that reason doesn't belong to Islam. And they need to read scriptures like donkeys, without a shred of critical thinking. These idiots right now are spreading suffering and destruction to this world because they choose revelations over reason and submission over morality. That's the simple explanation. And of course, if you read everything literally, without a shred of critical thinking, you will stuck with things. God has a literal face. God has a literal hands. God has a... And now the same people will pretend that there is a hyper wisdom. No, there isn't a hyper underlying wisdom. You are just donkeys. That's the explanation, my friend.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't memorize them, but not too long ago I checked them out, and he's Western educated. So from the looks of it, what he has learned regarding Islam is going to be from the West. It's going to have that Oriental perspective, which is essentially poison. So
reason is poison. Okay. Now you stuck with the face though, and hands. Okay, so when you are buffoons, you will stuck with the face and the hands of Allah. You cannot have it all. Either you choose to be buffoons, either you win debates. I am a buffoon that say reason is poison, but then win all debates. Not in this world. Maybe in another world.
yes, yeah, I wanted to share a benefit that we can all come away with and remember. There is this authentic quote of Ali, the great companion, may Allah be pleased with him. If this religion were based on opinion, then the bottom of the leather socks would be wiped instead of the top. But rather, I saw the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wipe over the top of his leather socks. So there's 2 main points I just want us all to derive from this and to remember, especially as we react to this upcoming video. And number 1, Islam is about following revelation. Islam is about submitting to Allah. Allah knows everything. He sent the Prophet ﷺ with guidance. So we submit to that, we follow that. If our intellect, our conjecture, our perspective conflicts with that, we know the deficiency is with our own perspective, our own conjecture.
Okay, this kind of types chose to stay, to put reason out of Islam. And then they read everything literally. God has a face, he has a foot, he has a chin. 3 genes came to Earth and comets are demons missiles. But then, on top of that, they became intellectuals. They win debates. Comets are demon missiles? You idiot, you don't know metaphysics. Let's see Ibn Farooq. Let's see Ibn Farooq.
Well, I'm going to give you a very clear answer, bro. I got nothing on. I'm not going to mince my words. So I would base it on the Quran and the authentic ahadith and the divine laws that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained. Simple.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah. Would you have an objection to that?
The question Iksan, my dear friend, asked was about if you had the chance to make a state, will you use Sharia law from default? And they say, of course, yes. No reason whatsoever. Of course. Because the Quran is perfect. So again, we see the same thing, that they are not using reasoning. But wait just a moment. Farooq, you little explorer. Few minutes ago, you said about Christian Prince that he's a coward, he's afraid. Why he's afraid, although Islam is peaceful? The laws of Sharia you accept say that Christian Prince should be killed. So why he should not be afraid? Farooq, go see if I'm coming. And if I'm coming, tell me. Okay, by the way, I was going to do a second video about Farooq, but then I saw this, Iksan, and how these people treated Iksan, and I decided to do the next video, this one. Thank you very much.